Hi, I'm Christina.
And I'm Brian.
And we are from Fanlander's video blog.
And if you'd like to co-blog with us, give us a jingle.
Email us at fanlandersvb@gmail.com. Droughtlander is finally over, and this is what the fans had to say about it. Episode 9 starts off with a bang, and finally, Jamie gets off that windowsill that he has been sitting on for the last 7 months. I'm sure his legs and bum are very sore at this point.
And I'm sure there are a lot of women out there that like to massage that sore bum.
That's true.
But now let's back up a second. First, we see Jamie meeting with Horrocks. The news that Black Jack killed the Redcoat is not good news, because how is he ever going to clear his name?
That is true. And the fans have been waiting in anticipation to find out the outcome of Claire's predicament at the hands of Black Jack. So, Jamie, Murtosh, Rupert, and Angus plot a rescue mission for Claire. Now we're back at the windowsill again. Jamie finally gets to stretch his legs. Surprise, he even has energy to take Black Jack down.
From what I understand, he doesn't have a problem with energy. Now, Jamie does rescue Claire. But spoiler alert, I wish Jamie killed Blackjack when he had the opportunity. Knocking him out is just not going to cut it. But then we wouldn't have a storyline, now would we?
No, we wouldn't. Let's pause a moment for the Redcoats who blew up in the explosion. Let's bow our heads. Now, booyah! We took you down, suckers!
We? I don't remember us being there.
Well, you know.
But seriously, I'm excited to say that we have some star footage that includes scenes from episode 9, Christina fist pumping, and outtakes. So we're going to make sure to share those with you as we blog today.
After the rescue, Jamie and Claire had some words. A fight ensues, and Claire says, "You fucking bastard!" Oh yeah, and there's no way in hell I'm gonna apologize to you. You know, I'm influenced by my 20th century upbringing. I really can't help it. The scene is seared into my brain as Jamie says, "You teared my guts out!"
Hands off the shirt.
And him explaining how he rescued her with nothing but his 2 hands and an empty pistol.
I've heard he has that problem.
Not him. You're thinking about Blackjack.
That's what she said.
He had desperate courage. Come on, desperate courage. And, you know, his composure becomes very calm. And his voice very soft. And her composure as well, very calm and soft. And she realizes that, wow, I've pushed it too far. And so she apologized. She says, "I'm sorry. Will you forgive me?" And Jamie then holds her, and we can see that the anger starts to subside, and he says, with truly prideless words, "Forgiven, lass."
Jamie has expressed that all he has is his pride. He can't even say he has Claire, a beautiful woman, by his side, because at this moment, I think he's feeling a lack of confidence in their relationship, and he doesn't verbalize this, he just conveys it in his tone.
Some time passes, and they're traveling on the road, and they're at the end, and Ned Gowan and Rupert, Angus, Murtosh, Claire, Dougal, and Jamie are all in the inn together. And they're talking about their adventures with the Redcoats and the fact that they just exploded and killed a bunch of Redcoats. Well, needless to say, Ned is not too happy to hear this, and he has a cute little moment that was not originally included in the book, but we do have some Starz footage, and we would love to show you that.
I see nothing. I know nothing. See nothing. I was not here. I did not even get up this morning.
Jamie and Claire and all of the group, they're at the inn. And this is where the famous spanking scene takes place. And I have some footage from Starz that I'd like to show you. You sadist! You barbarian! I hope Donna's troubles your fuss! You stink!
I'm going to have to punish you. You almost got us killed. The men expect a reckoning.
Claire, with her 20th century upbringing, did not take well to being spanked. But Jamie very articulately explained why this had to be done.
On social media, there has been a lot of debate about the spanking scene, and many a Sassanach had their 2 cents to share on the matter. Leslie Moore of Hewins Hooligans said the following, just to throw this in there, though many will argue it's wrong, it's become very obvious that there is a subculture of people today who as adults have no problem with spanking or being spanked. Now, I know in the books, that's now how that spanking went down. But I, for one, don't have an issue with its inclusion, nor with it being portrayed in the show. It fit within the context of the time, and Jamie wasn't being abusive. I'm looking forward to it. I think the only people that will hate the scene are those who have suffered from physical abuse themselves. It doesn't mean that it shouldn't be included in the show, though. Sophie Perrine of Hewins Hooligans wrote the following. I've said this before. When this was addressed, it wasn't a spanking. It was a punishment, a penance for a very thoughtless wrongdoing that made her husband kill a man and endanger the lives of all the people she relied on. To say nothing of ruining Jamie's chances of returning as Laird of Lollybroch. She does come to realize this, and through this punishment, Jamie gave her the gift of atonement, at the expense of his own agony at having to do it. So still, king of men.
The spanking scene has been compared to William Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew and John Wayne's movie McClintock. We're going to show you some scenes from that movie and let you hear what one fan had to say about it.
Hey, Mrs. McClintock! Everybody out!
If I ever get through this humiliation, you'll rue the day you ever met me.
Oh, belly aching, fight all you want. It won't do you any good. You've been digging those burrs into me for 2 years. Now you're gonna get your comeuppance. Thanks. My father would be proud of you. And I'll make you prouder. Keep it. You may need it. Now get your divorce.
Pam Raver of Hewins Hooligans wrote the following. I realize there are some who dread this scene, but I count myself lucky to be able to keep an emotional distance from this sort of thing, knowing it's just a video. That said, I guess the main difference between the John Wayne Maureen O'Hare scene and Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew is that they were comedies. To the best of my knowledge, no bruises or torn flesh. I don't know how Ron will do this scene, but if Jamie spanking Claire in the video is as severe as the aftermath is described in the book, I don't doubt there will be some traumatized people. That doesn't mean it bothers me, just that I can understand the other side of the coin too. My best advice to those who know that this scene might be a trigger to anxiety or other strong negative emotions is to simply not watch it. Jamie grows and gains new insight afterwards. If you read all the books, you know he never raises a hand to Claire again. Bottom line, keep yourself and your psyche safe. But don't criticize those who choose to watch from a different perspective.
I was fortunate enough to see episode 9 at Paley Fest. I saw the spanking scene. The audience response was interesting. Their response was one of laughter. I'm not sure if it was uncomfortable laughter or if it was because they thought it was funny. It struck me very similar to the John Wayne movie. And ultimately, Ron Moore handles the scene with great finesse and respect. I do not advocate violence against women for any circumstance. And I feel for any woman who has been abused. In the context of the story, Jamie was acting in accordance of the times. If Jamie had been a 21st century character, he would not have spanked Claire. Jamie is no Christian Grey.
I wonder how many shades of plaid there are. Probably more than 50.
Probably. Due to the nature of an hour-long show, there had to be some adaptations. And scenes were left out. One particularly long scene was when Jamie and Claire were walking to their next destination at night, since they could travel only at night.
During their night travels, they discuss Jamie's father and how he died. Jamie gives us a more in-depth understanding of the corporal punishment in regard to how children were disciplined in the 18th century, which helps Claire to understand her punishment better.
Well, some of those scenes were filmed, but they just did not make it to the episode we saw. Here is one of those deleted scenes from when they were walking at night together after Claire's punishment. A goodie not to be missed.
Oh, damn rock, I stubbed my toe!
That was no rock, you big leg. That was my foot. Returning to the earlier conversation about the punishment, you enjoyed it.
Jamie and Claire finally arrive at Castle Laoghaire, and Jamie is off, and Claire believes that Jamie's intentions are not honorable. He is collecting his pay and off visiting Laoghaire.
She did not own a razor.
So now I can finally reveal these would-be spoilers. At Paley Fest, I interviewed some fans on their response to episode 9. So what did you think of that one scene when Leary comes up to him and is trying to seduce him?
Oh, well, I really hate Larry, of course, as we all do. And it was kind of shocking, and we just hate her even more because of it. I mean, it was really unusual because we didn't really see that in the book. So in the television show, it just makes her more of a villain in our eyes, especially when we see the bundle of herbs under Claire's bed. Now we just know for sure certain that Leary is evil.
Oh yes, the bones hanging off the sticks and the way it was all tied together, it just was very eerie. That's the word for it, eerie.
Absolutely. It was just, visually, it was better than in the book because it was creepy. It was so creepy that you really sort of got inside of Leary's head because she's so beautiful and sweet looking, but even if you didn't know what's to come, you know then.
That's for sure. Beloved scenes were combined in a very creative and satisfying display of passion. By combining the makeup sex and the crucial lines, Ron is able to continue the character development of both Jamie and Claire. Ron successfully shows Claire's strength and also Jamie's honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was still stuck on the makeup sex. Seriously, though. Jamie in this scene says, "I want you, Claire. I want you so much I can scarcely breathe. Will you have me?"
Oh my God. Jamie, oh my God, Jamie was crazy. Just so passionate at that moment. Claire responds with, yes, yes, I will have you. And I'm sure they had further scenes, but it appears they made the cutting room floor.
Some of the next scenes kind of had some lines in there which were not included. Like Jamie saying, I cannot be gentle about it. You're mine, whether you will it or not. See, the thing is, though, is Jamie's not saying this coming from a place where he feels like he's owning her. Mm-hmm. It's coming from a place where Claire actually owns him, owns his heart, and he's not.
Sorry.
She owns my heart too, obviously. So he's not being his most articulate self in this moment. And this is due to his emotional, desperate state.
There were also some amusing scenes. For example, Jamie asks Claire what a fucking bastard was and what's a sadist? And Claire explains, I thought this was genius on the writer's part because it helped to break up the intensity of the makeup sex. Bringing in a comedic moment. I could barely breathe during this part, and I needed, I needed to recollect myself after the intensity of those previous scenes. Yes, recollect myself. The scene was originally written at night when they were walking outside, but Ron included these scenes with the makeup sex. Claire pointedly demands, with the dirk to Jamie's throat, that Jamie never raise a hand to her again. And Jamie pledges that he will never raise a hand to her.
I'm sorry, I was still stuck on the makeup sex. All right, so these words and these actions were not to be left out because they really helped to continue Claire's growth as a strong woman, as well as to demonstrate how Jamie could be flexible and accepting of modern notions, which in itself really helps his own growth as a character. Now, Ron has stayed true to these characters in his portrayal of them. The scales have been balanced because earlier, by the notion of modern domestic violence, Jamie has violated Claire's personhood. And now she's making it clear that she's willing to Lorena Bob at him if he ever raises a hand to her again.
That's right.
And thus, she's willing to violate his personhood.
Episode 9 ends with an ill omen left by Laoghaire.
Still hasn't found that razor.
And as we know, this is a foreshadowing for the future. We hope you've enjoyed the deleted scenes and the commentary.
So for now, it's
Fanlanders away!